All right, so first I have a Fresno. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out. This is also more of like a red jalapeno. And so I think a lot of people, when they see how many peppers and chilies we put into this dish, they're like, oh, I don't like spicy things. But one of the things that you can do when you're processing these is you take your knife. I'll just kind of flatten this out, and I want to come in and get that membrane, just that top layer of the membrane and the seeds.
Ah, that's where a lot of the heat's stored.
That's where most of the heat is stored. So from there, we can pretty much just get the pepper flavor, which is really what you're looking for. So once I have the seeds removed, I'll do that one more time.
I'm not afraid of spice though, so you
right.
can just like lay it on.
We'll just leave a little extra there. All right, so from there, I'm actually going to go ahead and use my knife to slice these as thin as I can. And we're just going to do something I call the back slice, which is where we're allowing the knife to do the work as opposed to pushing it forward.
With a garlic the last time,
yes.
and I've been using it ever since.
All right.
It's fantastic.
It is an invaluable lesson. It's something that Chef Schlau actually showed me up in Boston, and I think it was actually passed down to him by James Beard. So,
Really?
Yep, it's kind of neat. But you can see you get just beautiful peppers. It also allows, you're not tearing the peppers, so you just have very delicate flavor.
And the last time you did it with a different knife, so it's nice that you can, I see that you can do it with more than one knife. You don't have, say, that looks like a Japanese vegetable knife of some sort.
Yes, yes.
So, yeah, if you don't have that at home, you can still do it with any of your other knives.
Correct, correct. Yeah, it is invaluable. Okay, so now that we have our gastrique basically done.
I can smell a little heat in the air.
Yeah, a little of that chipotle. So I'm just cutting up a little bit of poblanos. And then our other chili that we use is just a small amount of jalapeno. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab my Fluke and add these right to the bowl.
Take that.
All right. And what I like to do whenever I'm doing a ceviche is I first like to kind of macerate my fish here. I take a little bit of oil and I'll coat these really well. An interesting thing with the ceviche is just balancing the acid with the fish, especially with the sweetness of the gastrique. So oil is kind of the key to that. So I'm just going to go ahead and add lime juice to this.
And what kind of oil do you use?
We use a blended oil, which is canola oil. It's basically a 90-10, 90 canola oil with 10% olive oil.
Okay.
So here's a little bit of lemon juice. And then what I like to do is go ahead and season it. And I think everyone will kind of be surprised how much salt I actually put on this fish. But when you're doing the ceviche, it is really nice, almost slightly salty with that acid and the sweetness of the gastrique. All right, so from there, I just kind of gave that a taste. My acid is right where I need it to be, but I'm actually just going to balance it with a little bit more oil. And that's, you know, as a chef and as anyone, everyone has a palate. I think a lot of times things can be a little bit intimidating. You just have to taste it and listen to what your food is telling you and, you know, add a little bit of salt, taste it. All right, I think it could take a little bit more, taste it, and just kind of let the food guide you. Okay, so our fish is ready. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and add our peppers here.
So do you make this to order?
We actually do.
You do? Wow.
It's nice if it has about 5 minutes, which is not typically your standard ceviche. But that's really all it takes, and you can already see the fish itself is starting to cook here.
You can see it's turning opaque.
Yep, and it has that
from
white
the lime juice.
Exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and add strawberries. So next we have our chilies. I need a little green jalapeno. I love to throw a little chive batons in there.
I want to taste this by itself because it looks so good. I don't mind.
Nope, not at all. This is a dish that we did about 2 years ago, and it really is just one of my favorites. Another kind of interesting twist on this, we use an herb called Papalo, which we get from 14 Acres Farm, which is a local farm, and this is it right here. And it's almost like a super cilantro. Go ahead, you can pick it up and smell it. So it really is. It's kind of interesting when it melds with the strawberries. It just really wakes it up and gives you almost that lime cilantro flavor, and it's very nice.
That's really good.
It is strong, so we're just going to use a little bit. I have some here cut up.
Papalo.
And we're going to add a little bit of cilantro here.
Is there anything else you could use to substitute for this at home if we can't find
Cilantro.
Cilantro.
Yeah, that's your
Little
next
extra.
best. Yeah. So I'm just going to reach across and grab this spoon here. And so now we're just going to mix this all up and kind of let it macerate. This is great if you're at home. You know, you can mix this if you're having a dinner party. You can mix it. It can sit in the fridge and you're ready to go. And I think also, you know, it's so light and so fresh that it's definitely something, and simple, and it's something that you can really impress people with. So here I just like to add a little bit of the gastrique into the ceviche itself.
These look like little taro.
Yep, that's a little crisp
Chips.
taro root that we're just going to garnish the top with. So as I'm kind of mixing this, I can see.
This is so colorful.
It's a really beautiful dish.
It's like the Italian flag.
All right, so now we're just going to go ahead. I'm going to give this a little taste. I'm going to grab. I think we are just about there. One of the things that I really like to do is I'll actually do what we call in kitchen terms the dot drag. So I use a very small spoon here, and I just get a little bit of gastrique on, and I'm literally dropping it down. And you don't have to go quickly, you can just set it right there, and then from there, I'm just gonna drag this down. And I usually like to do about 4 piles.
Alternating.
Yep.
Dot drag.
Dot drag. All right, so
It's a simple
next,
presentation
it's
we
very
could do
simple.
at home that
Yep.
looks really professional.
And it's very easy. I just like to add a few papalo leaves right there on top.
Yeah.
And next, we are ready to add our ceviche. So usually I will
That
start
looks great.
with a little bit of garnish down. Nice tight piles there. And I'll kind of work my way back and forth here. And then as you're doing this, you just want to get a little bit of all the ingredients on each one, so that you have a little bit of strawberry, some chilies. It's always nice to kind of
so
top.
gorgeous.
Yeah. So,
Perfect.
and then next we are just going to
garnish?
take a little bit of taro root here, and this just adds a really nice crispness. We just slice this really thin, and then we allow it to soak in water. Usually about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll rinse it and soak it one more time. And then we fry it off at 300 degrees, and just until it kind of almost stops bubbling, and you're left with this really beautiful kind of really crispiness.
So you could just fry it up in a pan?
You
if
can
don't
fry it
have
right in a
deep fryer or
pan,
anything?
yeah.
Okay. It really is a
Alright.
gorgeous summertime dish.
Yes.